What's up everybody, it's the Sports Code aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. As Manchester United fans, we tend to overreact to many things, negative or positive, and this is a very good scenario of players that should be leaving, getting out the door of Manchester United. I'm going to list today five people that should be sold from Manchester United for a variety of reasons, not just that they're not good enough. And before we get started, please like and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and let me know who you believe should be sold from Manchester United. Let me know why, if it's because they're good or bad. Let me know if it's someone's, like, let's say Paul Pogba, give me a reason why. Now, for anybody that just wants to click off the video straight away, I'm going to let you know now, Paul Pogba's not on this list. So if you are waiting for number one to see Paul Pogba, you're not going to see him, so just don't even bother. These are the five people that genuinely need to leave Manchester United straight away, right now. Let them go, okay? So that's what I'm going to go ahead and say. Hopefully you guys can understand that. I don't think Paul Pogba's a necessity to leave. We have a lot more people that should be leaving way before he does. So let's get started with number five. Number five, I've gone with Phil Jones. Phil Jones is a 27-year-old defender, I believe he's 27 years old now. He's still not even in his prime yet, but he's been here for well over 8 years, and he has not once lived up to the expectations that Sir Alex Ferguson signed him for and signed him to believe. I think he said Phil Jones is going to be one of the best defenders in the world. For whatever reason, I don't think it's even through fault of his own. For whatever reason, maybe it's injuries, lack of game time, everything just didn't go to plan for Phil Jones, and now he's become a meme for Manchester United. And it's just not. In the end, it's just not the right time for him to stay at Manchester United. He could potentially get a testimonial at this point, which I don't think Manchester United will do whatsoever. But Phil Jones, look, he can do a job. I can agree with that. Against the smaller teams, he could definitely do a job against them. But is he Manchester United quality? I don't think he's anywhere near Manchester United quality at the moment. I definitely think a move would benefit him as well as Manchester United. Look what happened to Smalling. All it took was one loan move, and he's one of the best defenders in Italy now. So look at that. Phil Jones needs to follow suit there. Whether it's a loan or a transfer, I definitely think he needs to leave Manchester United. So that's number five. Going into number four, Jesse Lingard. We're starting off very hot here. Jesse Lingard, the man with much potential at the age of 27 years old, is an attacking midfielder that can play a variety of positions, winger, and even up front at occasion. However, this season, for whatever reason, has been his downfall. Has been one of his worst seasons of his history. And it's either a bounce back season next season, or it's time to go. For many people, Jesse Lingard, again, is a meme similar to Phil Jones. He's definitely a meme. People don't like his attitude. People believe that he's more of a social media star than a Manchester United star. Whatever the case may be, none of that really affects me. What affects me the most is his performances on the pitch, and it just hasn't been Manchester United quality. And we've given him dozens and dozens of chances, chances that should belong to Angel Gomez, in my opinion, and he just hasn't fulfilled them. That's not to say that if we do keep him, he won't end up switching it up again, becoming that player that we all really liked. We all liked Jesse Lingard, I think, just based on his recent performances over the years, but this year has been a different story completely. And his mental health issues, he's dealing with a lot this season, so maybe it is a comeback season next season. But I just think it might be beneficial for both him and for Manchester United to move on from each other. Manchester United fans are very toxic towards Jesse Lingard, and it seems like Jesse Lingard is has a toxic attitude towards Manchester United fans. Not being on purpose, but that's just how things seem to me. From what I view on the outside, a lot of fans do not like Jesse Lingard, and the way that Jesse Lingard promotes himself on Instagram and Facebook and social media, people don't seem to like that either. I don't know why. Maybe if he improved his performance on the pitch, we'll be more positive towards that, but we'll see. Anything can happen. Next season could be his season, because I think out of everybody on this list, he's probably the least likely to go. So we'll see what happens. Number three, Alexis Sanchez. Now, again, this one seems very unlikely due to the wages issue. Alexis Sanchez is a left winger. I believe he's in his 30s now. He's Chilean background, formerly the best player of Arsenal. Came to Manchester United, did not perform very well. Performed so badly, he had to get a move away to Inter Milan on loan. He's coming back, it looks like. And I think it's make or break for Alexis Sanchez as well. Either he comes in, he accepts whatever role it's given to him, he's happy here, and he works and to try and get into the team, or we get rid of him again. I don't see Alexis Sanchez staying here. I think he would be extremely unhappy. He's clearly unhappy at Manchester United beforehand. I don't see any difference in his attitude coming back. So I think a move is definitely where Alexis Sanchez's next destination is. Where it will be, who knows? The wages are going to be a very, very problematic issue towards selling him, getting rid of him. We're definitely going to have to loan him out. And due to this entire pandemic issue, I don't see Alexis Sanchez getting a loan move that he wants, or anybody paying the wages that he wants, and he's probably not going to take a pay cut. So that looks like a move that's going to be pretty much impossible to do, and fans are going to very, very much react negatively towards Alexis Sanchez when he comes back. I truly believe that. And if I was Manchester United, I'd do anything in my power to get rid of Alexis Sanchez, even if it involves paying all of his wages. As long as he's not at the club physically, I think that could probably save them from a lot of backlash, a lot of hate, and a lot of negativity towards a player that could effectively ruin his mood and his career and everything. So I think just for the protection of one of your players, you need to get him out on loan. So that's three. Number two. This is very interesting. Number two, I have gone with Chris Smalling. Now, again, this is not necessarily something that I would want to do. I feel like Chris Smalling is a very good centre-back, but we've seen what he could do against other teams. He's played for Roma now, and he's been one of the best centre-backs in Italy because of playing for Roma. All it took was one move away from Manchester United to find the Chris Smalling that we all want. Chris Smalling's a very good centre-back. He's been a very good centre-back for us. He's been much better than Phil Jones, and those two were meant to be the pairing of a lifetime. And as a backup centre-back, I think it's definitely important that we get rid of him. But at the end of the day, what can we say that could make Chris Smalling a first teamer now? What can we possibly have an argument for to put Chris Smalling at the top of the food chain for Manchester United? That time seems like it's past. Chris Smalling's future at Manchester United is very, very unlikely. I think if anything, you're going to see a team be impressed with how Chris Smalling played for Roma, and then they'll go in. Who's linked to Chris Smalling? I think Roma is linked to a permanent deal. And I also think Arsenal's been something that's been mentioned, but Arsenal fans do not want that. If I was Arsenal, I'll take Chris Smalling in a heartbeat. Chris Smalling is easily the best defender that you guys would have if you brought him in. You'd probably get him in fairly cheap as well. I just think it's an all-around perfect move for Arsenal, to be honest. But either way, they don't want him. That's fine. That's a good centre-back that they're not going to get. I'm happy with that. And Chris Smalling, he could go anywhere. I think he could generally go anywhere. He can find a place. He could find a home in Italy. He could find a home in La Liga. He could go to another Premier League team. And I think he would do very well in all of these scenarios. So Chris Smalling probably the one that's probably easiest to get rid of just because of his performances in Roma. But again, we'll see. We don't really know. Chris Smalling's a very good defender. We've got to give him some respect. And that's number two on my list. Not necessarily because he's not good enough for Manchester United, but I just think the time of him being that starting centre-back for us, I think that's well and truly over. And I don't think Chris Smalling wants to sit on the bench for the rest of his career. That's why I think he has to go. And number one, I've gone with Marcos Rojo. A lot of centre-backs in this video. And there's a reason for that, because these centre-backs have cost us game after game after game after game. And as much as I'd like to say these centre-backs have done well for us, it's only been in spades. Phil Jones has had 3 or 4 good matches before having a terrible match or getting injured. Rojo's the same. 3, 4 good matches and then he gets red carded or something like that. I think Marcos Rojo, as a person, is very good to have around the football team. His personality, his love for Manchester United, the fight that he brings to a team, it's incredible. No one can argue that Marcos Rojo loves and has passion for Manchester United. But at the end of the day, his quality of football, it's just not at the level that we would really hope for. Again, he's a good bench option, but we have Axel Tuanzebe, we have Eric Barley, we have centre-backs that are able to take that position and do it well. Plus, we're already looking for another centre-back, it looks like, from a lot of reports. We're looking to get another centre-back. So, if that is the case, what's the future for Marcos Rojo? What's the future for him? Because at the end of the day, is he playing over Eric Barley? Is he playing over Tuanzebe? I think not. And even to the point where Lindelof could be in danger of losing his place as well. So there are circumstances where the player can and probably will do a job for us, but at the end of the day, can you see them getting into that position before other players? And Marcos Rojo is way down the pecking order, and he's on loan already, so we may as well, when he comes back, let him go and let him try and salvage what's left of his career, hopefully get into another big team, and we'll see where it goes from there. That's what I think should happen for Marcos Rojo, and yeah, well, hopefully there's a future left for Marcos Rojo out there, because I think his passion towards the game and the way that he plays can suit certain teams, and I definitely think teams can take a chance on him. I think he's a much better centre-back than people give him credit for, but at Manchester United, I just don't think he's coming anywhere close to the first team anytime soon. So I think we may as well try and get him out off the wage bill, get him out of the team, and we'll see where we go from there. So those are the 5 people that I would sell for Manchester United. Who would you sell? Honourable mentions, people that probably should go, would probably be Andreas Pereira, Matic, Mata. There are a lot that you could say needs to go now. But those are the 5 that I would sell. Not necessarily anywhere near the first team, but they're definitely not good enough, and they've been in this club for way too long, earning a living that might not be deserved, but they've done it. With all respect to the players, I respect every Manchester United player. The fact that you got to Manchester United in the first place shows that you have some talent, some aggression, some integrity. You've got a spine, a backbone. You've got everything. But sometimes, at the end of the day, things don't work out. Di Maria is another example of that. You could be good, but you're just not being good at our club. And there's a certain type of character you have to be to play at Manchester United. These guys may have it, but lost it. Some of these guys never had it in the first place, etc. There's a lot we could say. So those are the 5 that I would sell. Thank you all for watching. Short video, but at the end of the day, Manchester United, we're all linked to these transfers that we're going to buy, but no one even considers the fact that who we're going to let go. And these are the players, in my opinion, should be the first ones out the door, but a lot of them are going to be very hard to sell. So let me know what you guys think. Please like and subscribe if you're new. This is the Sports Code. Have a wonderful day. Take care.